All right, Coach. Tough loss, obviously, at Arizona. You've had some time to marinate on it. Any new thoughts?
Well, it was very disappointing. We felt like we gave the game away so many ways, with so many penalties, the lopsided turnover margin of 5-1. Usually you're not even in a game. The game's not even close when you do that. So I thought our players played really hard, but we screwed up, way too many times. And even after all that, we're still at 15 points and have the ball in our hands and close to making it a 22-point game at that point and screwed it up.
Yeah, you mentioned that play. Is this one harder to deal with than maybe Stanford because there were so many if-only moments that you can sort of look back on?
Yeah, because this game was getting ready to be out of hand. We had overcome the adversity early in the game, got through that, had taken the lead, and we're getting ready to enhance the lead and kind of take over the game. So this one was really difficult to deal with from that aspect because there were so many good parts of the game too, as far as the defense playing well at stretches till the end, and then the offense having so much explosion at times.
Yeah, the obvious positive was Marquise Lee's performance. Can you provide some context? You've seen a lot of great individual performances. Where does this one rank?
Well, I don't know how you can do much better. Probably the second best individual skilled performance we've seen. Probably Reggie's at Fresno. With more yards, would be the only one kind of like it. It was just truly amazing to see what he was doing halfway through his second year. It's just really amazing.
You showed the team, or you cut a video, I guess, of all the major penalties from the season, showed it to the team. What's your message that you want them to get out of that?
Well, I hope when you see them all together, there's an impact of what it's doing to our game and to the game management of the game. And we're going to 2nd and 25s, or we're just handing over 15 yards on the other side of the ball with automatic first down. So I think when they saw it all together, they realized what a big deal it was and how much it was impacting the flow of the game.
The other issue was the turnovers. Obviously, the fumbles are ball security. What'd you see from Matt's interceptions?
Well, I thought one's not his fault. One is a tip pass off Marquise's hands. The other one, a bad decision. And so sometimes you're going to have one bad decision when you throw the ball 50 times. But we can't do it. We can't hand the ball to him like that. 4 turnovers, and then we finally get a turnover, but turn it over within the turnover. So basically 5 turnovers on the road is not a good recipe for success.
You were aggressive early in the game going for it on 4th down. Is that a case where maybe you go into the game with a preconceived notion saying, field goals probably aren't going to win it today, I want 6? Was that what's going through your head?
Yeah, that's what you spend the week trying to figure out, your matchups and how the game's going to go. And as you go back to, people point to the Washington game and how we were conservative in that, we felt that our matchups as we're going into the game were definitely in our favor on defense versus their offense. They were pretty beat up. This offense has basically, outside of the Oregon game, has just moved the ball well on everybody they'd played. And so we knew they were going to hit some plays. We were going to need some points to win.
The last drive, you got the ball back with 55 seconds to go. You ended up getting off 5 plays. Is that about right when you look at it, or do you think that you should have been able to get more?
Well, the first 3 plays are great. They're all first downs, and so the clock stopped as we get set. Unfortunately, we kind of went for a knockout shot there on the 4th play of the drive. And when you do that, it takes a long time, because Marquise got banged around and it took a long time to get down there. So ends up, I think, taking 10 seconds on that play. And so, we kind of went for it there and tried to end the game, and unfortunately it didn't work.
When you switch forward to this week, Arizona's offense, Oregon's offense, how do they compare?
Well, they're spread, and so they get you out in space is really the only similarities. Outside of that, there's not very different. Oregon's built on running the football and built on handing it off or the quarterback running, where to me Arizona's more of a passing offense where the quarterback can run. So very different that way.
When you look at the defense, though, and the tempo, is it imperative, again, on the offense, maybe they didn't do it in the second half against Arizona, to stay on the field and keep your defense from wearing down?
Yeah, that happened. As you look at the game, we're playing well. We've forced 6 punts during the game, and then we go 4 straight series at the end of the game with giving up 4 touchdowns. So, we've got to do a better job rotating on defense, and we've got to do a better job converting on 3rd down in the second half of games to keep those series alive.
You mentioned the difference in the styles of offense between Oregon and Arizona. Is it sort of the same thing between Matt Scott and Marcus Mariota? Obviously a dual-threat quarterback, but maybe not as much of a passer as Scott is?
Well, he's actually thrown the ball really well, but their system is built more of a run first, pass second, where I felt like Arizona was the other way around.
Do you see any anything on tape so far that anyone has done against Oregon, or have they just not been in a game yet where they've really had to open up and show themselves at all?
Well, I think Oregon, for a team that at times a year ago or 2 years ago would start slow and then just come in the third quarter and just crush people, they've really switched that. They really just are taking games over in the first half, and the games aren't even close. They're basically scoring a point every minute, and then they're getting their guys out of the game by that time in the second half because the games haven't been close.
You mentioned there's plenty of belief in this building. How much has last year helped that confidence?
Well, every year is different, but I think that definitely does when both teams have players and you know that you were able to go up there and experience success at their place. That always helps a little bit.
Is it easier to snap back in after a loss knowing that you have such a showcase game on Saturday?
No doubt. You always worry about a loss beating you the next week. But that's not the case when you have a team that's probably the best team in the country coming in, and everything that goes with that.
Do you like the mood of the team, what you've sensed since the game, that they still realize that there's plenty to play for?
Well, there's nothing fun about losing, and so it was a difficult loss, as we mentioned, because we felt like we had so many ways to win the game. But it's over now. We can't get it back, and we're moving forward.
What do you want to see for practice this week?
Just guys come out and practice really well, prepare really well, and they will. They've done that all year long.
All right, we're looking forward to it, and a big game on Saturday night. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.